The Pawn, copyright, C1985-1986 Magnetic Scrolls Ltd. Version 2. You wake up on a sunny August morning with birds singing, and the air fresh and clear. However, your joints are stiff and you have not woken up in your bedroom as you would have expected. Trying to recall what happened the night before, you manage to piece together a few brief glimpses to give the following account. You were walking home, having just done your week's shopping at a supermarket, when you noticed a stranger in a white overcoat coming towards you. When he got very close, you noticed that he was wearing glasses and had a thick, bushy beard. As he passed you, he let out a hollow, cackling laugh and you felt a sharp blow on the back of your head. Then you woke up. You now notice that you are wearing a silver wristband which covers your forearm. On the path, north, you are on a gravel path leading north to two snow-capped mountains. To the west is a dying forest. Eastward is a vast, grassy plain, and the path also continues southward. Deep, grassy wilderness. You find yourself in a vast wilderness of grassy plain extending to the limit of your vision in every direction. Kronos the magician zooms past on a circular stone platform that hovers above the ground, executes a steep bank turn and glides to a halt in front of you. Quote, "Greetings, stranger," unquote, Kronos says in a deep, rich voice. Say, Kronos, "Greetings." The magician says, "That doesn't concern you." Quote, "I am having great trouble in finding someone to perform an extremely simple task, and I wonder if you would help me out. If you deliver this sealed letter to King Eric of Peravnia, you will be well rewarded when I next meet you on your travels, and I would be forever indebted to you." Unquote. The magician then offers you a sealed note. Take note. You have now got a note. Ask Kronos about a wristband. Pointing at a silver wristband, he says, "I can remove that pretty bangle. But my services do not come free of charge. I will exact a deed of service. If you kill the man who rides the horse with no legs and bring his dead body to my room in the northernmost mountain, I will remove this wristband and set you free from all worldly bondage. I fully realize that this is a difficult task, and so I will lend you some help in the form of this small chest. Be careful, it is lethal when opened, so make sure that only he is the one to open it. Take chest. You have now got a chest." Kronos glides off on his stone platform, whistling to himself. Deep stone bridge. You are near the edge of a cliff. To the east, a stone bridge spans a deep ravine at the bottom of which runs a fast-flowing river. Westward leads onto an extensive, grassy plain. Deep on the bridge, you are halfway across the stone bridge. The river below you runs south, and eastward you can see a high wall with an open gateway leading to the gardens of the Golden Palace. Deep Palace Gardens. You are in the palace gardens where rose bushes and herbaceous borders are neatly arranged around the central fountain. Surrounding the gardens is a high wall through which there are two exits. east to the Gate House and west to the Stone Bridge. Standing in the southwest corner of the gardens is a small touche. There is a mat here. E. Gateway. You are at the Gate House, which consists of an archway leading through to the courtyard of the main palace. Some guards are here. 2 burly guards, armed with pikes, block your entrance. Give note to guards. The guards lead you into the palace courtyard for an audience with the king, who stands in front of you looking very pensive. He takes the note and studies it intently before giving you his reply. Quote, "Get out of my palace." Unquote. He rants, his countenance ablaze with apoplectic fury. Quote, "I will not give in to that evil lizard Kronos." Unquote. He screws the note up and stomps off in an abominable rage. The guards lift you off the ground and unceremoniously dump you outside the palace walls. W. Palace Gardens. There is a mat here. Look under mat. You find the key. Get key. You have now got a wooden key. You are carrying a wooden key and a chest. You are wearing a shirt, some jeans and a wristband. Examine jeans. The jeans are made of blue denim and have a pocket in the front. Look in pocket. The pocket contains a metal key. Take metal key. You have now got a metal key. Unlock the door with metal key. The door is now unlocked. An adventurer has just arrived, riding a horse. Give chest to adventurer. He takes the chest, holds it at arm's length and cautiously opens it, as it is. Opened a faint vapor flows from it, down the adventurer's arm and envelopes him. Gradually the vapor grows denser until his grimacing face is no longer visible. When the vapor clears, the adventurer's body is lying on the ground. Unlock door with metal key. But the door is already unlocked. Open door. The door is now open. Drop metal key. Metal key dropped. SW. In the shed. Inside the touche you are confronted by a profusion of old pieces of gardening equipment. Against the north wall stands a wooden workbench and a door leads northeast back into the gardens. There is a hoe, a rake and a wheelbarrow here. Look at the workbench. The workbench is made of wood, stands about a meter off the ground and is the length of one of the shed walls. There is a trowel on it. Take a trowel. You have now got a trowel. Look under bench. You find a pot. Look at the pot. The pot is made of clay and has a hole in the bottom to allow excess water to drain away. It contains a plant. Plant in pot with trowel. The plant seems much happier now. Take hoe, rake. You have now got a hoe, rake taken. Leave. Palace Gardens. There is a mat and a metal key here. An adventurer and a horse are here. W. On the bridge. W. Stone Bridge. W. Grassy wilderness. W. On the path. W. Rank forest. You find yourself in the murky gloom of the dying forest. Northward, just out of the forest you can see an area of moorland, and to the east there is a gravel path running along the edge of the forest. W. Rank forest. This is a particularly dark and dreary part of the forest where the undergrowth is very thick and the trees more densely populated, especially westward, in which direction any further movement would be impossible. N. Uncultivated hills. This is a tract of uncultivated moorland where there are many knolls and small hills. To the north the terrain becomes rocky and dangerous. Eastward leads to the most eminent hill in the area, and the dying forest is to the south and west. NW. The terrain in that direction is too rocky. N. The terrain in that direction is too rocky. E. Rolling hills. This is a bleak area of rolling hills, to the north of the forest, where there are many mounds and knolls. Northward is the largest hill in the region, and behind that looms the nearest of the snow-capped mountains. There are many more hills to the east and west. N. Large hill. You are on a large hill covered in clumps of wild heather, atop which is a small hut. To the north, the terrain becomes dangerously rocky. However, in every other direction there are more hills. From within, a voice says, quote, "Come in, my child, the way is clear," unquote. Enter hut. Inside the hut. You are now inside a dingy old mud hut. A shaven headgear wearing an orange robe sits cross-legged in the center of the floor with a cupboard behind him. Also, a small bowl, full of rice, is on the floor in front of the gear. As you enter, he stands, goes to you and sits again. The gear notices your wristband and breaks out into uncontrollable laughter. Remove the shirt. You take off the shirt. Cover wristband with shirt. The shirt is now fixed to the wristband. The gear stifles a giggle, then empties his bowl and gives it to you, saying, quote, "Fetch me the essential nourishment of all mortals and I will answer your questions, my child," unquote. Up. You can't go that way. Only east. I. You are carrying a shirt, a hoe, a trowel, a rake, a bowl and a key. You are wearing some jeans and a wristband. D. You can't go that way. Only east. E. Large hill. E. Mountainous hills. You are in a mountainous region, to the north of the dying forest, where there are many mounds and small hills. Northward, the terrain becomes rocky and dangerous. To the west are more rolling hills, but northwestward stands the most eminent hill in the area. E. On the path. You are on the gravel path. Directly north are foothills leading up the southernmost mountain. Westward is the mountainous region and the expanse of grassy plain is to the east. N. Foothills. You find yourself in the foothills below the nearest of the snow-capped mountains which looms up ominously in front of you. Around you, the floor is strewn with massive boulders. The only exits are south, along the gravel path, and a track leading northwest up the side of the mountain. Which is blocked by a particularly large boulder. Remove the shirt from the wristband. Okay. Tie the hoe and rake together with the shirt. The hoe is now fixed to the rake. Lever the boulder with the rake. Together the hoe and the rake are strong enough to move the booger, using all your strength. The booger crunches slowly to one side, revealing a path to the northwest. Remove the shirt from the rake. Okay, the rake and the hoe fall apart. Drop hoe, rake. Hoe dropped, rake dropped. Wear the shirt. You put on the shirt. NW. Narrow track. You are on a narrow track which winds its way up the side of the mountain. As you round one of the corners, the track comes to an abrupt halt, blocked by a rock fall. However, it continues above the pile of rocks that block your way. Climb rocks. Narrow track. At this point on the track is an awesome cave-like opening leading east into the heart of the mountain. The track also continues northeastward further up the mountain. Narrow track. You are at the end of the track. A stairway cut into the rock leads up from here to a snow-covered plateau in the center of which is a cylindrical tower made of ice. Up, plateau. This is the snow-covered plateau, brilliant and pure. The stairway leads down from here to the mountain track, and the rest of the plateau is to your south and west. The ice tower is southwestward, but you can see an entrance here. Fill the bowl with snow. The snow is now inside the bowl. Deep, narrow track. Deep, narrow track. Deep, narrow track. Deep, foothills. There is a hoe and a rake here. S. On the path. W. Mountainous hills. NW. Large hill. Up. Inside the hut. There is some rice here. Look at bowl. The bowl is made of bone china and has a willow pattern motif on the outside surface. It contains some water. Give bowl to Guru. He thanks you. The Guru smiles and says, quote, some light in the forest would help you and the trees. We must live in harmony with nature, you know. Unquote. Take rice. You have now got the rice. Leave hut. Large hill. C. Mountainous hills. S. Rank forest. S. Forest clearing. You have stumbled upon a clearing in the forest, the middle of which is covered in a vibrant, green turf. However, the trees around the edge of the clearing have no leaves and all seem dead or dying. There is a tree stump here. Look at the stump. The tree stump is narrowed and rotten. It contains a pouch. Get pouch. You have now got a pouch. Open pouch. The pouch is now open. Look in pouch. The pouch contains a blue, a green and a red mixed colors. The colors meld together forming a single new color, white, that shines brilliantly. Get white. But you are already carrying the white. S. Rank forest. This is a part of the forest where the humidity has caused the undergrowth to be covered in a thin layer of mild. The overpowering odor fills your nostrils, prompting nausea. Looking southward, you can see a dotted red line on the ground, beyond which is a dense, swirling fog. Just in front of the lion is a notice board. There is also a large tree here that looks climbable. Read notice board. The writing says, "Warning. This is the southern edge of the adventure. No artifacts may be taken past this line. Climb tree. Up a tree. You find yourself a long way up the ancient tree. There are an abundance of twigs and branches that all seem to be brushing against your face. The branches extend even further above your head, but you cannot climb any higher, as there are no more footholds. Set into the west side of the tree trunk is a small wooden door. Unlock the door with the wooden key. The door is now unlocked. Open door. The door is now open. E. Tree trunk room. You are in a small, cramped room inside the tree trunk. The floor is covered with varnished wooden planks and light filters through the various knots and holes further up the trunk. There are some boards here. One of the floorboards seems quite loose. Move floorboards. The boards are too heavy to lift. Close door. The door is now closed. Move floorboards. A dark forbidding opening is revealed leading down. Drop wooden key. Key dropped. Deep. Staircase room. You are on an old, wooden staircase whose steps have been worn down over the years so that they are now smooth and shiny. The only ways to go from here are up and down. Deep, low ceiling room. You find yourself in a low-ceilinged room that has been hewn out of the earth by some ingenious gnomes. Passages lead off in every direction, but they have obviously been built for people much smaller than yourself. The only passages tall enough for you to enter are the ones in the east and west walls and up the spiral staircase. W. Crossroads. You are at a junction in the passage. There are 3 exits, northwest, southwest and east. Some writing on the wall tells you that the northwest exit leads to a mine and the southwest exit leads to a residential area. SW. Passage. You find yourself in a northeast-southwest passage. Northeast takes you to the crossroads and southwestward the passage ends when it meets the front door of a small underground abode to the west. Open the door. The door is now open. You are carrying a pouch, a trowel, some rice and a white. You are wearing a shirt, some jeans and a wristband. W. Lounge. This is the lounge of a small house whose owner is absent at the moment. There is a settee against the north wall and some hooks on which to put coats are beside the door. There are exits east and west. Hanging from a hook is a take a hard hat. You have now got a hat. Wear hard hat. You put on the hat. Look at the settee. The settee can seat about 2 human-sized people or 3 gnomes. There are some cushions on it. Look under the cushions. You find a coin. Take coin. You have now got a coin. E. Passage. E. Crossroads. NW. Passage. This passage leads southeast to the crossroads and north to a lift door. Next, to which is a button. On the lift door is a message that says, quote, "Are you wearing your hard hat?" Unquote. Press button. Click. In the distance you hear a faint whirring of machinery. Wait. Time passes. Wait. Time passes. Wait. Time passes. Wait. Time passes. The whirring stops and there is a loud clunk as the lift arrives. Pull door. The door is now open. Enter the lift. Lift. There is a rope here. Push door. The door is now closed. Take rope. You have now got a rope. Look at buttons. The first button will make the lift go up if pressed. The second button must be pressed to make the lift go down. Press the second button. Click. Slowly the lift descends, making extremely unhealthy mechanical noises. You are carrying a pouch, a trowel, some rice, a rope, a coin and a white. You are wearing a shirt, some jeans, a wristband and a hat. Pull door. The door is now open. Leave the lift. As you step from the lift, part of the roof collapses. Fortunately your hard hat completely protects your delicate head. Rock face. You are confronted by a rock face at which the gnomes have obviously been mining for precious metals. Lead in fact. The only exit from here is north. Into the lift. There are some lumps here. Get the lumps with the trowel. You have now got the lumps. Enter the lift. Lift. Push door. The door is now closed. Push the first button. Click. With a great deal of groaning and grinding the lift ascends. Pull the door. The door is now open. Leave the lift. Passage. Drop the hard hat. Hat dropped. C. Crossroads. E. Low ceiling room. Up. Staircase room. Up. Tree trunk room. There is a key and some boards here. Open door. The door is now open. W. Up a tree. D. Rank forest. N. Forest clearing. There is a tree stump here. N. Rank forest. N. On the path. N. Foothills. There is a hoe and a rake here. NW. Narrow track. Climb rocks. Narrow track. E. Cave mouth. You find yourself in the mouth of a high-ceilinged cave. The sunlight from outside just reaches far enough in to reveal a low passage in the east wall. The only other exit is west onto the mountain track. E. Cavern. This is a large, dim cavern where you can hear the high-pitched squeaking of many bats. There is a shallow pool near the center of the cavern and an ominous opening in the east wall leading into another cavern. The only other exit is west to the cave mouth. E. Cavern. You find yourself in a fascinating cavern where there are many weird and wonderful stalagmites and stalactites whose constant dripping becomes irritating after a while. The floor of the cavern by the north wall has a deep fracture in it which leads down into a thick blanket of darkness, the only other exit being an opening in the west wall. Deep, small cave. This is a small, bare cave far below the level of the cave entrance, the only points of interest being the four exits north, south, east and leading up. E. Corridor. You find yourself in a long, winding east-west corridor hewn out of the mountain rock by some ancient delvers. On the south wall is a rem statement. Read rem. The rem says, "This is where the player falls down the trapdoor." Drop all. Pouch dropped. Trowel dropped. Rice dropped. Rope dropped. Coin dropped. Quiet dropped. Lumps dropped. E. Lab arriver. This is a large cavern, the northern half of which is taken up by a lava river, which runs east to west. A vertical shaft leads upwards and there is a passage to the west. Even though the cavern is quite high, it is still very hot in here and you vaguely recognize the smell of sulfur in the atmosphere. Up, vertical shaft. This is an extremely tight shaft. Its primary function is probably to supply air to the fires of hell, rather than allowing mortals toppling practice. Up, riverside chamber. This chamber has been cut into the rock by the river, which is now kept out by a low, fragile-looking wall. Break the wall. The wall breaks easily, allowing the river water to flood into the chamber, sweeping you down the shaft with it. Look, corridor. You find yourself in a long, winding east-west corridor hewn out of the mountain rock by some ancient delvers. On the south wall is a rem statement. There is a pouch, a trowel, some rice, a rope, a coin, a white and some lumps. Here. Take all. You have now got a pouch, trowel taken, rice taken, rope taken, coin taken, white taken, lumps taken. E. Lava river. N. Cavern. You are on the north bank of the solidified lava river. There is a cubic stone pedestal here painted pale blue. Also, in the northeast wall is an exit with a notice above it. There is a pedestal here. Read notice. The notice reads, "Warning. This maze is totally irrelevant to the adventure. Here Dan. Oh, beware an open hell. Examine the pedestal. The pedestal has an image of a key on the top surface. Move the pedestal. Using all your strength, you just manage to shift the pedestal a little. Below it you can now see a small niche. Look in niche. The niche contains a key. Examine key. The key is a short rod without jagged bumps on the end. Get key. You have now got a key. S. Lava river. W. Corridor. W. Small cave. Up. Cavern. W. Cavern. W. Cavern mouth. W. Narrow track. Deep. Narrow track. Deep. Foothills. There is a hoe and a rake here. S. On the path. SW. Rank forest. S. Forest clearing. There is a tree stump here. S. Rank forest. Up. Up a tree. Enter tree. Tree trunk room. There is a wooden key and some boards here. Deep staircase room. Deep low ceiling room. Deep quiet room. You find yourself in a small room that has a very clinical air about it. The walls are white and there are 3 exits, north, east and west. N office. This is a dimly lit office which may have been used as Gringo back on Burgers. Election campaign headquarters. A wooden desk stands in one corner and on the floor is an old rug. The only exit from here is south. Look under rug. You find the safe. Unlock the safe with the blue key. The key vanishes. The safe is now unlocked. Open the safe. The safe is now open. Search the safe. You find the ballot paper. Take the ballot paper. You have now got the ballot paper. S. Quiet room. E. Voting booth. You find yourself in a shabbily constructed room currently being used as a voting booth. There is an exit west which leads to the quiet room, thanks to the wall are 2 ballot boxes, one considerably larger than the other. There is a table here. Examine boxes. The small boxes where the citizens of Paravnia must put their ballot papers to vote against Gringo. The large box has vote for Gringo. Cast it across it. Put ballot in large box. Put ballot in. Put ballot paper in large box. The ballot paper is now inside the large box. W. Quiet room. W. Low ceiling room. Up. Staircase room. Up. Tree trunk room. There is a key and some boards here. Leave the tree. Up the tree. Deep. Rank forest. N. Forest clearing. There is a tree stump here. N. Rank forest. E. On the path. E. Grassy plain. This is a vast expanse of grassy plain. To the west is the gravel path, and the plain extends as far as you can see to the east. Northward, the terrain becomes rocky and dangerous. Honest John the traveling salesman is here. He has a friendly air as he tries to sell you his goods from the back of a wooden cart pulled by a mangy old donkey. Quote, here's a likely customer, unquote, he says with a confident patter, quote, are you on a quest? Unquote, and without waiting for an answer, quote, then you need to get kitted out, and I've got just the things. Some iron rations for those peckish moments on Gungian journeys, for only 1 ferg. Some silver armor worthy of any true adventure, for only 2 fergs. A bottle of whiskey distilled by the highly acclaimed Rubicalb tribe of dwarfs, for only 2 fergs. Some sparkling spring water from the exclusive Abakanga Valley in southern Paravnia, for only 1 ferg. A bottle of Farthington's Real, complete with twigs and sediment, for only 1 ferg. I don't accept credit. Even if it's good, it's a matter of principle. More. Buy a beer bottle and whiskey bottle with coin. You have now got a beer bottle. You have now got a whiskey bottle. W. Honest John says, quote, "Thank you very much, sir. It was nice doing business with you," unquote. On the path. N. Foothills. There is a hoe and a rake here. NW. Narrow track. Limbrocks. Narrow track. Up. Narrow track. Up. Pladew. S. Pladew. This is the Pladew, covered in crisp snow. The ice tower is to the northwest, and there is more snow both northward and westward. W. Pladew. You are on the snow-covered Pladew which extends to the north and east. Northeastward is an entrance to the ice tower. A snowman is here. Male snowman with white. The snowman has melted and is no longer blocking your way. However, he is slowly reforming using snow from just outside the tower. Get quiet. You have now got a quiet. E. Pladew. N. Pladew. D. Narrow track. D. Narrow track. E. Cavernmouth. E. Cavern. E. Cavern. D. Small cave. N. Damp passage. This a damp, murky passage which runs north to south. Its only notable feature is a political poster. Look at poster. The poster has a picture of a gray-haired and bearded dwarf with a political slogan underneath that reads, "Vote for Gringo Backenberger." Hail him in his campaign to rid Dungeons of phosphorescent moss, magic, teleporting words, unrealistic use of verbs and mazes of any form or description. Remember, a vote for Backenberger is a vote for sensible, no-nonsense Dungeons. N. Laboratory. This seems to be some sort of laboratory. There are many interconnected limbics, flasks and tubes with a strangely colored liquid flowing through them and bubbling clouds of vapor appearing at irregular intervals. Exits lead south, northwest and northeast. Some alchemists are here. The three alchemists are sitting on the floor hotly debating who should go outside to get some dinner as they are scared that whoever leaves will sail. The secret of turning lead into gold to the rest of the world and not cut the rest of them in on the deal. Suddenly, the alchemists break off from their discussion as they notice you. One of them stands up and speaks, quote, "We are having a bit of a disagreement as to who should leave and get us all lunch. If you would be so kind as to do this for us, we could turn any lead you have into gold," unquote. Give a rise to the alchemists. The alchemists gorge themselves on the lunch that you brought them. When they have finished, one of them says, quote, "Thank you very much. Now, if you have any lead that you wish to be turned into gold," unquote. Give the lumps to the alchemists. The alchemists each grab a piece of lead and run out of separate exits, leaving you alone in their room. The storeroom. This is the alchemist's storeroom full of dusty old rubbish. In the south, wall is an opening leading into a tubular corridor, and the doorway in the southwest corner of the room leads to the laboratory. There are some tomes and an aerosol here. Take the aerosol. You have now got the aerosol. Examine the tomes. The tomes are works of ancient lore which would crumble to dust if you tried to open them without a spell. They are closed. Cast spell on tomes. It works. The book opens. Read the tomes. The tomes tell of an ancient contract between Kronos and the devil, giving Kronos his evil powers in return for his soul. When Kronos' mortal life expires, his soul must suffer the most horrendous agony for eternity. You skip through a few paragraphs of small print and find a subclause near the end stating that Kronos can avoid this torture by exchanging 3 good souls for his own. Once read, the tomes crumble to nothing. SW. Laboratory. SW. There is a wall in your way. NW. Passage. You find yourself in a small cavern which is lit by a source of sunlight coming from the west through a wide gap in the wall. The only other exit here is southeast to the Alchemist's lab. W. High ledge. You are now on a ledge roughly 1/3 of the way up the side of the mountain. A rickety old road bridge leads out northward across a deep ravine to another mountain. It doesn't look too safe. Hundreds of feet down at the bottom of the ravine is a fast-flowing river. The only other exit is east, into the mountain. N. Road bridge. The bridge here is swaying from side to side, creaking and groaning, alarmingly. However, it manages to take your weight, just N. Road bridge. You are now about 10 yards away from the north side of the road bridge. The air is fresh and clear and not a sound can be heard apart from the creaking of the road bridge. N. High ledge. You find yourself on a ledge halfway up the northernmost mountain, southward. A hazardous-looking road bridge traverses a deep ravine, and 2 passages, one to the northwest and one to the northeast, lead into the depths of the mountain. Knee tunnel. This is a particularly dusty tunnel, running north-south, which is supported along its length by wooden posts that are under great stress from the load they bear. N. Room. You find yourself in a room with freshly papered walls. There is a small cupboard against the west wall and some graffiti on the north wall. An exit south leads to a dusty tunnel. There is some past and some wallpaper here. Open the cupboard. The cupboard is now open. Look in the cupboard. The cupboard contains a hook. Tie the rope to the hook. The rope is now fixed to the hook. Examine the paper wall. The paper wall consists of a large sheet of paper, written upon which is some graffiti. Tear the paper wall with the trowel. You tear the paper wall to shreds. The paper wall tears easily, creating a large hole in the middle, beyond which is a deep chasm from which emanates the smell of sulfur. Drop the trowel. Trowel dropped. Climb down the rope. Ledge. You find yourself on a ledge about 10 feet below the paper room. Far below, the pit descends into a disconcerting red glow, and southward is a tight, narrow passageway sloping gently down. Drop the rope. Rope dropped. S. Passage. This is a tight, meandering passage leading west to a ledge and east to some tall, double doors. Knock on doors. A voice from behind the door says, quote, "Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate he should have owed turning the key," unquote. Again, quote, "Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? I name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that changed himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins. And know about you. Here you sweet for it," unquote. Again, quote, "Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heathen. Oh, come in, equivocator," unquote. Again, quote, "Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose," unquote. Again, quote, "Knock, knock. Never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for help. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have led in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire," unquote. Finally, the porter opens the gate. Quote, "I pray you, remember the porter," unquote. The double doors are now open. Examine the porter. The porter is a drunken old Scotsman who possesses an almost empty hip flask. He smells strongly of cheap whiskey. He seems drunk. Give whiskey to porter. You can't see any whiskey here. Give whiskey bottle to porter. Quote, "Thank you kindly, may God be with you," unquote. E. Shaft. This is a dark cylindrical shaft with an iron ladder leading down into a wispy, yellow cloud and up to some double doors. The stench of sulfur here and the growing heat make you feel quite queasy. D. Shaft. You are in the vertical shaft where the heat is becoming almost unbearable. The bottom of the shaft leads off north into an annex and has another exit, east. The latter is almost too hot to touch. You can hear strains of music coming from the north exit. N. Annex. This is a small room with a piano in its center. Jerry Lee Lewis is sitting at the piano singing his hits on great balls of fire. He looks very hot and uncomfortable. Examine Jerry. Jerry Lee Lewis is a rock and roll singer who has escaped here from the late 50s. He seems tired. Give beer bottle to jury. He takes the drink, knocks it back in one and says, quote, cheers, pal. I needed. But it's a bit hot down here. Unquote. S. Shaft. Put the quiet in the pouch. The quiet is now inside the pouch. Close the pouch. The pouch is now closed. E. Chamber. This chamber is painted white and shaped like a regular pentagon. There are many small pieces of crystal set into the walls which make the most efficient use of all available light, creating shimmering images in the room and down the connecting passages which lead north, south and west. N. Cavern. This cavern is the home of a mob of powerful demons. There is a heavy stench of rotting carrion coming from headless corpses hung on nooses. Against the north wall, the demons are busy feeding at the moment, making too much noise to notice your entrance. A fridge is embedded in the south wall near one exit, the only other exit being down a steep passage in the east wall. E. Hell. You are in the bubbling fire pit of hell. Small geysers dotted at irregular intervals randomly spout their vitriol into the crackling atmosphere. Sharp, shining sifts, making deadly sweeping motions at head height, hang in front of you, suspended by some indiscernible force. Amongst this chaos stands an immense throne sitting upon which is a horrible being covered in thick black fur with terrible fiery eyes. The terrible eyes seem to be speaking to you in some sort of empathic transmission. It takes you a while to figure out what they are trying to say, but eventually you get a message. They are saying, quote, hello, unquote. Say hello to Devil. Nobody hears you. Devil, hello. The Devil says, welcome to the underworld, mortal. I hope you find everything to your pleasing. Ask Devil about wristband. The Devil says, quote, I will remove that wristband for you, but I need a sacrifice. That of the soul of the magician Kronos no other will do. This is a difficult task, for Kronos is a very powerful mortal, and so I will aid you in this quest. This potion is your aid. You will not be able to open it, but be extremely careful with it, for the bottle is made of the finest crystal and is very brittle. Now you must leave this land of the dead and return to that of the living, where I hope you will do my work well until I call again. Farewell. Unquote. A bolt of fire issues forth from the eyes and look. Road bridge. The bridge here is swaying from side to side, creaking and groaning alarmingly. However, it manages to take your weight, just there is a potion bottle here. Take bottle. You have now got a potion bottle. Open pouch. The pouch is now open. N. Road bridge. N. High ledge. NW. Chamber. This is an immense, roomy chamber which echoes every noise you make. A fierce and hungry-looking dragon sits against the east wall on a glittering pile of treasure obviously collected over many centuries of senseless slaughter. The outermost limits of the chamber are bathed in hazy shadows. Passages north and in the southeast corner of the chamber provide access. A dragon is here. The dragon looks at you and says, quote, my lunch at last, some tasty human flesh. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I suppose I'll be able to manage it, unquote. Point at shadows. The dragon looks around, squinting all the time, and then says, quote, I can't see anything, so I'll just have to eat you instead, unquote. Shine the light at the shadows. Quote, unquote, he says, quote, I see them now, unquote. The dragon then proceeds to fry the 13 hobbits before eating them, taking quite a while because frying hobbits when you are the size of a dragon is a very fiddly business. And you manage to get past the dragon whilst he is enjoying his tasty little snack workshop. This is the magician's workshop. A large table stands in the center of the room and bookcases, laden with dust, line the walls along with a storage rack. In the south wall is a corridor with an oil lantern fixed above, which sways in a steady breeze coming from a niche in the north wall. This motion makes flickering images flit around the room and lights the murk and gloom of the corridor. The magician is here. As you enter the room, the magician stares at you. Throw potion bottle at magician. The bottle smashes and the potion splashes onto Kronos' face, causing his skin to boil and bubble. He clutches his eyes and screams out in agony as the black liquid eats into his flesh. With one last defiant cry, he slumps to the floor. Press button on the arrow now. I don't understand arrow now. Press button on the arrow now, can. I don't understand can in that context. Press button. The arrow now quickly devours the scared soul of the evil magician with little resistance. Kronos' body is sizzling away, the black liquid slowly devouring his flesh. Wait. Time passes. The liquid is now gnawing away at Kronos' bones, the last remnants of his existence. Wait. Time passes. There is nothing left of Kronos now except an ugly memory and a pile of cloths on the floor. Take a pointy hat. You have now got a pointy hat. Take a cloak. You have now got a cloak. Take a wand. You have now got a wand. Take a wand. You have now got a wand. Wear pointy hat. You put on the pointy hat. Wear the cloak. You put on the cloak. And as you step on it, a platform issues a mechanical drone. Circular platform. You recognize this platform as the one used by Kronos, although it's doubtful whether you can use it with as much agility. The platform accelerates downwards at an incredible rate, leaving your stomach battling with your tonsils and your feet wondering if gravity might return. Abruptly the platform slows its descent, halts and dumps you in a disheveled heap. It then departs, whistling to itself. Circular room. This is a circular room, the southern half of which is taken up by the lava river flow. In the north wall is a wide, open corridor, faintly lit by the deep red glow from the lava. Closed pouch. The pouch is now closed. N. Chamber. N. Cavern. The demons are busy gorging themselves, making a lot of mess in the process. E. Hell. Give the arrows out to the devil. The devil's eyes turn on you, showing a hint of gratitude mixed with a patronizing condemnation of your weakness of spirit. Imperceptibly, the silver wristband falls to the ground and melts into a blob of useless metal in a matter of seconds. The devil signals you to leave the chamber, your contract fulfilled. W. Cavern. The demons are busy gorging themselves, making a lot of mess in the process. S. Chamber. W. Shaft. Up. Shaft. Open the pouch. The pouch is now open. W. Passage. A porter is here. W. Ledge. There is a rope here. Take a rope. Rope taken. Climb rope. Room. There is a trowel, some cast and some wallpaper here. Drop the rope. Rope dropped. S. Tunnel. S. High ledge. S. Road bridge. S. Road bridge. S. High ledge. E. Passage. C. Laboratory. S. Damp passage. S. Small cave. S. Entrance. This is a narrow corridor that gets brighter and brighter to the south, ending when it meets two freely swinging perspex doors. Beyond the doors, you can see it continues, bathed in a hazy light. Open door. The perspex doors are now open. S. Corridor. You are in a long, straight corridor running north-south, which is lit by fluorescent lamps. On either side of the corridor are clear glass windows set into white walls, reminding you of home. At the south end of the corridor is a cream-colored door. Knock on door. The voice says, quote, "Who is it? Are you wearing a silver wristband?" Unquote. Say no. The door is now open. S. Room. You are in a strange room totally alien to the rest of the adventure. The walls and floor are covered in listing paper and a large fan glows cigarette ash onto the many computers and peripherals that inhabit this weird abode. As you enter the room, a bunch of bleary-eyed, extremely tired-looking programmers literally fall out of the door. One, looking particularly harassed, hands you a listing and says, quote, "Fix this, will you? We're off to the pub to celebrate someone finishing this game." Unquote. Examine the listing. The listing is of a chunk of code called debug bits. It looks like it might let you wander around the game without dying. Debug.